Hi, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Jayshri. I'm from SMK Taman Desa. I'm sitting for SPM this year.
So this is year 2018 and you're sitting for SPM 2018.
Yes.
Okay.
Jayshri, good morning to you.
Morning, sir.
Jayshri, you just sat for your SPM paper, a couple of papers actually.
Yes.
In fact, you have done BM, you have done English, and you have done Maths, right?
Mhm.
And Maths, I taught you. Now, how was the paper, Jayshri?
Paper 1, I faced a bit of difficulties at the back part, but that was okay. Paper 2, I feel I did really well because when I attended the EVE program, basically what Mr. Vijay did was, because for certain questions, they'll ask certain chapters. So he told us like if they ask the question a certain way, you tackle it a certain way. So when I got the paper, when I looked at the question, I already knew like, oh, okay, Mr. Vijay said you do it like this. So I didn't waste time thinking like, oh, how do I tackle this? So in that way, it benefited a lot. And also for the graph of function, Mr. Vijay had told us the night before to look out for either ogive graph or frequency polygon. And true enough, it was frequency polygon that came out. So I remembered that we had to extend the lines to the x-axis or not, our graph would be wrong.
So you're referring to the statistics questions, right?
Yes.
Okay. So actually what happened was, I have already went through with you all the possible questions for paper 2, part A. And true enough, all the questions that I said exactly came out, am I right?
Yes.
And I told you how to present the answer, what to do, what should be done, what should not be done, right?
Yes.
And that actually helped you, right?
Yes.
And even part B for paper 2, I've also gone through with you the questions. From 5 questions, you must choose 4 questions, right?
Yes.
And the 4 questions I went through with you all what to expect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And exactly true enough, the question came out.
Yes.
Right? And I remember you asked me another question which was very challenging. Normally students don't answer the question, which is Earth as a sphere.
Sphere, yes.
Right? And you did ask me, you stayed back a little while later and you asked me some question and I went through with you, right?
Yes.
How did you manage to answer the question?
I answered the question based on your explanation, which I felt was really good, and I actually managed to answer it without I managed to do it confidently, as in when I saw it, oh, okay, I already knew what I had to do, what I had to minus, what I had to times. So I didn't waste time thinking oh, how do I do this?
Very good. And prior to attending my maths program, right, the EVE program at Tuisyen Rakan, right,
Yes.
you actually joined another program elsewhere with a very reputable and experienced teacher, so to say, am I right?
Yes.
And you told me some setbacks that you had. Can you just share with me what is the difference when you went for that particular program under the other teacher's guidance and when you came to me, what was the comparison that you saw in the program that I did for you and how it impacted you, especially when you were set for your SPM exam?
So when I went there the other day, he did with us lines and angles. So basically what he did, he gave us a worksheet and then he told us to do it. So because I don't answer lines and angles, I answer as a sphere. So when I told him I don't normally answer this question, so I actually really have no idea how to do it, he said it's okay, just try, do. When I told him I don't understand, a few of us had told him we don't understand. I had expected him to say, okay, class, listen, this is how you do it, but no, he didn't do that. So I felt disappointed. So at that same day during the EVE program,
Okay, the one that you mentioned just now was
Mhm.
another teacher from another tuition center, correct?
Yes.
Okay, then now you're coming to how you have benefited from my class in Rakan Tuition Center.
Yes.
Yes, please.
So that day, the EVE program, I was actually supposed to go to this other tuition teacher's class, which he had for maths. So I didn't want to go there because, that experience was still sore. I was still a bit mad. So I came for the EVE program. So from the EVE program, because he went through the questions, what to expect and everything, so before sitting for the exam, I actually wasn't that nervous. I actually could think straight and everything. So when I got the paper, I already knew how to do what to do. So it benefited me a lot.
Okay, so overall, you answered paper 2, part A and part B, everything complete, right?
Everything complete.
Complete. And you are confident with yourself, right?
I'm confident.
Which
So,
prior to that, you had trouble, am I right now? Because I know your maths scoring is at somewhere around the border, correct?
yes.
About between 40 to 50 marks and so, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So now, do you think you can go for higher scoring above 75? Which, from what you say, I feel that if you have answered every part, you can actually go for the higher scoring. How do you feel?
I definitely feel I can go for higher scoring. I feel there's a higher chance that I might be able to get A this time.
So, what would you want to say to our listeners out there? The program that Rakan has done and the class that you have attended, mainly my class for mathematics.
Definitely come for the E program. Try to make sure you attend that. Even if you have other tuition, like don't go for that. Come for the E program. It's really important because they go through like the questions, and they don't just go through it. They tell you what to expect, and because a question can be asked in many different ways, there are many different scenarios, so they actually go through each and every single worst case scenario. So when you get the paper, you know what to expect, and you actually don't waste time thinking, how do I do this? So when you don't waste time thinking, you actually find that you have more time in your hands to go through the paper and see and check whether for careless mistakes and everything, which is very good to me personally. And I definitely encourage to come for the normal regular classes, because I feel a lot of intensive latte to be is being done, so that alone helps a lot.
Alright, so you have truly benefited from the program, and I can see the sincerity in you sharing and urging others to come and join our Rakan program, because you have seen how far it has impacted you from the tips that we gave. Now, for just the benefit of the audience, right, the listeners, can you just tell them for the part 2, paper 2, part A and part B, right? What percentage would you think that the question that I have already run through with you one day before the maths real SPM paper, what is the percentage you feel that the question that I spotted exactly hit right on target?
Definitely 100%, because you went through everything. You didn't miss out a possibility on how they can ask the question. So I would say definitely 100%.
Yeah, in fact, I remember I told you, just listen to me and everything will be rest assured, correct?
Yes.
And true enough, what I said, perhaps you wouldn't have believed me on that particular day, but when you sat for the real SPM mathematics paper, when you saw the paper, you would have known that what I said, exactly everything came out, right?
Yes.
And the do's and the don'ts were also told you, and how to present the answer was also told to you, and that's what had helped you to really do the paper well, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Jayshri.